Entrepreneurship isn't easy. It's 24/7 commitment that blurs the line between personal and professional lives. Some survive, some excel, and some fail. However, every entrepreneur starts somewhere. There is no magic shortcut to building a good business, nor there is any biases in business either. It doesn't matter when you start or where you start your journey. India has seen many successful entrepreneurs. However, in the Indian growth story, we have left behind key demographic, women. A report by Google and Bain says that 13.5 to 15.7 million women-owned enterprises make up 20% of all enterprises in the country, a rise from 14% to current 20% over the last. As more and more women throw their hat into the entrepreneurial ring, it's our pleasure to bring to you the journey of a successful businesswoman, a homemaker, an inspiration who started small but dreamt big, and went on to ring in crores in revenue. Motilal Oswal Wealth Management presents yet another masterclass Vantage Point series, designed to showcase interesting thought-provoking speakers and actionable insights for your professional and personal life. Who would have imagined a CEO dancing with her colleagues and creating an enthusiastic workplace? The video also shows how employees are encouraged to eventually join her, and ends with an applause. These are signs of creating happy workplace, being grounded, being positive. Coming from the pink city of India, Jaipur, the CEO and joint managing director of Welspun, Dipali Goenka, considers her mother as her inspiration. Barely out of the school, Dipali got married at a very young age. The first 10 years of her married life were focused on being an exceptional homemaker and involved mother of 2 beautiful daughters. With grown-up daughters, she had increased time on hand, and she also found parties, homemaking unproductive. That's where she decided to show up at Wellspun. Initially, she got involved with construction of the new office, admin, sales, and in no time, she was in the business. Even today, when men is a leader, everyone follows, but when a woman leads, there are always reservations. Dipali's early days were no different. She was new to the male-dominated industry, selling to mostly women consumers, and she had zero knowledge of textile. So, she got her hand dirty in setting up her stores, shipping and selling products too. In 2003, not many women who managed home were working in corporate. So there were challenges like how will she manage family, education, etc. Hence she was a firm believer of planning everything well in advance, to extent of planning her weeks, her days and her hours. This helped her. She believes that one doesn't get success unless truly involving oneself in every rung of the business. Hence she enrolled herself for a course in Harvard Business School to upskill her business knowledge. When she took on the board of Wellspun, the bale of cotton was priced at around $55,000 apiece, significantly higher than the usual cost of $36,000. So, she had to face the brunt of the stakeholders as well as manage the business. She also encouraged women employees. When she joined, the women workforce was merely 7%, which today is 25%, but when a woman works, her work doesn't stop at office, it begins from home and ends at home. So, they created programs wherein women can easily multitask or delegate their work to husbands. Challenges have a pattern. They are short-lived with people who have strong will, aspiration and passion. Dipali is one of them. With a strong focus on customer centricity and innovation, she transformed homegrown textiles major, Wellspun, into a force to reckon with globally. Let's hear from her on what was her vision for Wellspun.
For me to look at it, it was, I've always looked at the consumer, because from the spaces background as well, the customer was always at the core. And that's where, manufacturing has to be in relevance to the consumer, whether we are manufacturing for the B2B customer as well. So that's where the whole journey began. So while we spoke about it, that time I think we started building a portfolio of patents, innovation, but that were relevant to the customer. Looking at consumer feedbacks in United States of America or UK or India, and then developing our products became a norm at Wellspun. I always believe that when you're doing anything, customer has to be at the core. Supply chain analytics were very important to what Ashish we had to look at, because you can imagine the kind of humongous size and volume that we manufacture and do. any kind of demand that is unreasonable can rake a price hike in the terms of the commodities with Wellspun. So that's where we started working on as well. So first of all, the consumer, the products, the patents, innovation, then our brands and licenses. I think while we talk about the private labels, I think we also have a focus on our brand portfolio that we have. If you would have heard of our brands in India, Spaces and Welspun, with a desire to take it to Har Ghar Welspun is where we want to be, because India is the third largest consumer market, and we think this is where the next growth will be. The COVID saw a lot of digitization, acceleration to the extent of 35%. Our brand Christie, which we acquired in 2006, now is taking a shape of a digital brand. We licensed brands like Martha Stewart and Scott Living in America. That extends our shop, our shelf space there. And our D2C brands are taking shape in the United States of America as well. So I think, Ashish, for me, I think the important aspect was to translate the whole manufacturing business to truly form a kind of an FMCG kind of a business framework. That was critical. I'll just, as we manufacture, we also have an ancillary park, which is just 2 kilometers away from our factory, where our vendors are there, who manufacture our trims and packaging. Cotton is just very close to our factory. So I think for me, Ashish, the important thing was to really create that whole framework. Sustainability has become a very important norm of what we do, a guiding factor to what Wellspun India will be like. And we want to be that. We want to be the kind of beacon of textiles for sustainability. And that's what we want to really work on as well.
To summarize, her vision stems from the fact that end consumers was always the heart of the core business. And, hence she wanted to translate the entire manufacturing unit into a FMCG business. So, how did she do that? What was the story to scale her existing business and rethink the business design? The first part is to decide what you want to be and reach in next 2 to 3 years, not just aspirations, but also products perception and marketplace. Second, a strong team, a proper succession planning framework and technology connecting faster. Third thing is associations with mentor, to guide you as a leader, as once you are a CEO, it gets slow. As a leader, she believes to turn challenges into an opportunity and making something out of anything. So, how is she managing the current COVID situation where there is less physical interaction and more virtual? As a first step, taking care of employees at factories with strict protocols was at the paramount importance. So they had AI-enabled doctors available anytime. They entered into a new business portfolio and making mask, disinfectant wipes as well. Further, they had daily huddles with leaders to understand the ground issues. They used the lockdown time to enhance employees' technical and behavioral skill sets. To ensure the safety of the products, regular quality checks are done and customers are invited to the site with guidelines to check the quality anytime. So, what are the changes she sees in textile business and how will digitalization impact the future? In current Indian landscape, it's not metro that contributes, it's tier 2, 3 and 4 cities. Since the movement from unorganized to organized is happening very fast with omni-channel retail and e-commerce managing the delivery. Secondly, digitalization has changed the way of reaching consumers with online and offline stores. Moving on to the last segment, question and answer round. On being asked about, how does she sees the transformation from traditional to sustainable future? She mentioned that textile is the biggest polluter, hence they have started working with farmers in Telangana so that they can recycle 30 million liters of water in irrigation. It's a process of evolution wherein they will break the hard waste and utilize into a product. On being asked about, how does she differentiates leaders and performers? Here's what she mentioned.
First of all, leaders and performers are two different things. I think there are two things I think we should really define. And I always believe, first of all, what is culture of your company? I think if and a leader needs to embrace that. There's no compromises on culture. Remember, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So I think important, the leader has to embrace the culture of the organization. It has to be very, very people centric. And there's another thing, that is a performer. So leader, कहते हैं कि एक लंबी रेस का घोड़ा होता है, एक short term रहता है जो performance होती है, and who performs. So yes, there has to be reward and recognition there. You got to look at that, and that's a performer for you. And I think they are very target based. You recognize them and you continue to evolve them. But for a leader, you have to mentor them. They are the people who will see that, who can build kind of as a leadership. They build more kind of talent and have a succession plan in the organization. And I think that's where it is, Ashish. And it will be a very interesting mix. But definitely, a leader can't be somebody who will be flouting the rules of the organization. The culture of the organization is sacrosanct, and there can't be any compromises there. And that's a leader who's completely people-centric and who runs with the values of the organization.
On being asked what is her advice to women aspiring to be leaders, she mentioned that COVID has opened many opportunities for women. One can manage family and work at home too. With technology at disposal, it's no longer a fight between career and family for women. So ladies, spread your wings, for the air is yours. As always, we thank you for watching the video. We also thank Mrs. Dipali Goenka for the wonderful insights about her early days, her challenges, how did she overcome. It has a brilliant message for all of us: do not stay in your comfort zone, challenge and explore yourself. Happy New Year and have a great and safe year.